Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today we're gonna do my final Game Week 1 team review. Right, so after tinkering with my draft for about a month now, I feel like I'm finally 99% settled on a draft that I'm gonna start Game Week 1 with. So very excited to share it with you guys, and of course there's gonna be loads of content this coming season every game week. So if you don't want to miss out a video, do remember to subscribe to the channel and also drop a like on this video if you do enjoy it. Right, okay, so we're gonna start off this video by giving you some context as to my team. Right, so the squad value of this team is gonna be 100 million with no money in the bank, but I'm pretty confident because I'm gonna be starting with a 4-4-2. And what that allows me to do is hit a lot of the price points that is necessary for me to kind of make changes if I need to. And also for the plan, I intend to wildcard in game week 7 or game week 8. Right, so this kind of sets the context to how long my draft is going to need to last me, and gives you guys a better idea as to why I've chosen certain players as well. Right, so I'm going to start off in goal with Raya. Right, so I want to talk a little bit about the keepers, right? Why I've chosen a non-premium keeper over a premium keeper. Now, keepers basically get points from clean sheets, save points, and bonus points. So I feel like for a premium keeper, 1 million more means that the money is stuck there, right? So there's low ceiling to premium keepers, and they don't get as much save points because they're probably going to be from teams with a much better defense, right? So they're probably going to just get that 6 points for you, and that's it. And lastly, they also block the triple up option, which most of us would want to, right? If you think about teams like Liverpool and City, there is every chance that during the season we may want to triple up on them, right? As for Liverpool, some of us are even thinking of tripling up on them now, even in game week 1, right? So that's what I feel about the premium keepers, and that's why I've gone for a non-premium keeper. 1 million less, and on top of that there's a higher ceiling, right? More save points and bonus points potential, and lastly they don't block the triple up option, right? So I have to go for a 4.5 million keeper, right, based on the strategy that I'm going for. So I've chosen to go for Raya over Sanchez, and the reason I've gone for Raya, right, it was very close, but because Brighton's defense is going through a bit of changes, right, with Cucurella and also Bissouma, who's the defensive mid, now gone, right? Cucurella, of course, we do have to wait for the latest news, but there is a lot of rumors that he's going to be transferred out of Brighton, right? Where he is going to go, we do not know yet, but the rumors are pretty strong, right? So as of now, because Brighton's defense is going through a lot of changes, I am kind of favoring Raya right now, and that's why he's going to be starting in goal for me. So next up, we're going to go with a back four of Trent, Robbo, James, and Cancelo. Right, so Trent is essential, right? The Community Shield kind of set the tone as well. When he got that goal, right, we kind of see how his attacking potential is really very present, right? And definitely I'm going to triple up on Liverpool. So it was between Robertson and Diaz. And after the Community Shield, I do feel like I'm a little skeptical of Diaz, and on top of that, when we're comparing the expected points for Robertson and Diaz, I think there's a good chance that Robertson actually outscores Diaz over the course of the first 8 game weeks, right? So that's why I have gone for Robertson. And as for the Diaz spot of the 8 million midfielder spot, I do feel like there are better 8 million midfielder options there as well. So that's another reason why I've gone for Robertson, right? And for James as well, we saw last season his attacking potential, right? And though other people do have doubts about Chelsea's defense, I'm not too worried because James doesn't just rely on clean sheets, right? He has the potential to score goals even, right? And if he does get a clean sheet, then definitely 3 bonus points for him as well, right? So his ceiling is really high, right? And that's why I've gone for him as opposed to downgrading him and then using the money to maybe upgrade my keeper to a premium keeper, right? So that's why I've gone for James. And as for Cancelo, right, he is there for some city coverage, and on top of that, he is the second highest scoring defender of last season, right? So he has a good set of opening fixtures and simply a must-have for me. So he is a third essential player in my eyes here after Trent and Salah. In midfield, we're going to go with Salah, Saka, Neto, and Leon Bailey. Right, so Salah is truly essential. He's going to be my captain for game week 1. Right, looking at the way he performed the past 2 seasons, the way he started the season, right, was really explosive. Right, and of course, each event is independent, but there's a very good chance that against Fulham, Liverpool are going to perform really well, and Salah obviously at the forefront of Liverpool's goals. Right, and then next we have Saka. I do feel like he is the best 8 million pick at this moment, closely followed by Mason Mount and then Luis Diaz. right? He is potentially on penalties, and I'd say I feel better if we knew for sure whether he would be on penalties or not, because the preseason penalty he took, he won, right? So what would happen if someone else won the penalty? Would Saka still take it? We're not sure, but I do feel like even without penalties, he could still be the best 8 mid out there, right? I did consider another Arsenal asset who was Martinelli, but I do feel like with Smith Rowe coming back from injury, and he is now training, of course, right? Martinelli could probably share minutes with him, right? Even though Martinelli would probably still start, but I do feel like Martinelli and Smith Rowe would share some minutes, so therefore I've gone for Saka as the Arsenal asset in the midfield, right? And then I've gone for Neto and Bailey. Now, two of them are the best budget enablers in the game, I feel, and that's mainly the reasons why I'm able to afford such a strong defense and midfield as well. Right, so Neto does have a very good set of fixtures from game week 1 to game week 8, and potentially he may play out of position up front, right, due to Jimenez being injured. So that's even better from an FPL perspective as well, right? And then if you take a look at Leon Bailey, he has been on fire preseason, right? Really good performances the whole of preseason, right? And he does have a good set of 3 fixtures in the start of the season, right? So when it gets bad, right, I could rotate him as well with my bench options, which is something that I did consider when I was picking my bench players as well. So I will cover that later. Up front, I've gone with Haaland and Jesus, and I'll talk about the more straightforward one first, which is obviously Jesus. Now, I do feel like Jesus is a must-have this season after looking at the way that he has performed for Arsenal in pre-season. Now, severely underpriced at 8 mil, right, and a lot of us are going for him, so his effective ownership right now is currently at greater than 70%, right, which is really insane, and if we don't have him and he hauls, we'd be in trouble, right? But just beyond his effective ownership, as a player and how he has integrated into the Arsenal system, I really like the prospect of Jesus, and I do feel like he's going to be in for a lot of goals and assists, right? So definitely going to be in my team, right? And the more contentious one is Haaland. Now, the reason I've gone for Haaland over Kane is mainly because of captaincy. Now, over the first 5 game weeks among Salah, Haaland, Kane and Jesus, obviously Jesus depending on how he starts the season as well, Haaland is the best captaincy option for game week 2 and game week 5, where City play Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest respectively. Right, Salah is the best captaincy option for game week 1 and game week 4, where Salah plays Fulham and Bournemouth. And then as for Jesus, he's a real shout in game week 3 when he plays Bournemouth as well. So based on this set of simple analysis of who I want to captain in the first 5 game weeks, therefore I've chosen to go for Haaland over Kane, and I can potentially entertain a move from Haaland to Kane after the first 5 game weeks when Spurs fixtures actually start to get really much better than the first 5 game weeks, right? But something as well that I have to say is that there is a 1% chance that I do actually start with Kane instead of Haaland, right? And that is if I'm comfortable enough to book in that transfer in game week 2, because I definitely am going to want Haaland in game week 2, right? So if I'm comfortable enough to book in that transfer, then I may start with Kane. But I don't really like booking in transfers in general, right? I don't think that it's a good strategy to go with. So there's only a 1% chance that I may end up going with Kane. But for now, of course, there's a 99% chance that Haaland is in my team. And even now, he is still in my team. On the bench, I'm going to go with Ward, Neco Williams, Andreas Pereira and Archer. Now, I've gone for Ward as my 4 mil keeper because Schmeichel has now left Leicester City for sure, right? And Brendan Rodgers already said he's not going to be buying another first team keeper. So right now it's between Ward and Iverson, and Brendan Rodgers did actually hint that he does slightly prefer Ward, right? He did say that Ward is a really good keeper in general, and he always said that Ward could be first choice as well. Right, so being the only 4 mil keeper out there who has the potential to start games consistently, then therefore it's a no-brainer for me, right? And Neco Williams is next. Now, he's a really cheap defender with good attacking potential, right? And there's also Andreas Pereira on the bench, who's a really good enabler playing attacking mid for Fulham. So among all of the 4.5 mil mids, I feel like he's the one with the greatest chance of starting consistently, and he's also on set pieces, right? So that's really good as an option there. And as for Archer, he has really low ownership, so therefore I'm going to go for him, but he also has the greatest chance of starting for Aston Villa, or maybe just getting a few minutes, right? Not starting for sure, but at least getting some minutes there. Right, so I don't want to lose money as well on the bench fodder like maybe Greenwood, which a lot of people are going for. So I've gone for a slightly lower ownership 4.5 bench fodder as well. So I did mention just now that Leon Bailey rotates well with my bench. So from game week 1 to game week 4, Leon Bailey can be played where he has decent fixtures. And then in game week 5, there's Andreas Pereira who plays Brighton. And then in game week 6 to 8, there's Neco Williams with a good set of fixtures. So these three present very good rotation options there. So for those of you who are contemplating whether Bailey is a good option or not, there are good rotating options on the bench as I've presented here, right? So we don't necessarily need to sell Bailey as well. He can just be on the bench because after all, he is still 5 million, and I am considering just leaving him on the bench when he doesn't have good fixtures, right? So that's something I really am considering right now. And an alternative to this whole team here that I did consider as well is dropping James to a 5 mil defender, right, and upgrading the keeper to a premium keeper. But as I said just now, I had my drawbacks about premium keepers, and I do feel like James plus Raya does have a higher ceiling than most of the 5 million defenders plus a premium keeper. And that's why I've chosen to stick with this draft still, even after considering these alternatives. Right, so in general, this is the team, right? I am liking the look of it. It is really, really strong, right? Slightly template, but also with some differentials in maybe players like Saka as well. And I really, really like that this draft has a good balance and a lot of different price points that it allows me to move from players to certain players within the price brackets that I want to, right? So in general, I'm 99% set on this team. I really like the look of it, but if I do make any changes, I always post my final team selection on the YouTube community tab and also on my socials. So Twitter, Instagram, and Telegram, my handle is just above me. So for those of you who want to follow my team throughout the season, you can follow me on my socials as well. But if not, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like and subscribe if you did. And there will be deadline streams from now on as well, but in game week 1 I am unable to do a deadline stream. So I've done a discussion stream earlier on in the week, right? It's uploaded and you guys can check that out if you want. But if not, I can see you guys in the game week 2 deadline stream and also the videos that I'm going to be putting out for game week 2 as well. So all the best for game week 1, right? And we've waited so long for the start of the season, so all the best to everyone, and I hope to see you guys in another video very soon. Bye bye.